What's up, guys? It's Andy, and I have kind of an unexpected series coming to you guys. I guess you can probably see from the title of this video, I have made the decision to move Gideon. And I wanted to do like kind of a 3-part series, part 1 being this video, and then 2 other parts, just kind of documenting the whole journey, and I think more importantly, discussing, how to find new barns, the interview process, and really determining what you're looking for and finding places that fit that mold, and maybe helping yourself come to the conclusion that where you're at isn't the right fit, and maybe you do have to start looking. I think that people don't talk about why they moved barns, and it's not to bash the places they've been, or maybe they choose not to because they feel like they don't have anything positive to say, but everybody's experience is completely different. And I think that it would be really valuable to open up this type of discussion. One of the questions I ask when I look at other barns is, what is the number one reason people leave your barn? Which I don't think a lot of people expect, nor do they really think about. And I think that's a really important aspect of barns is, are they self-aware of why people leave? How often are people leaving? Any rate, that's for part 2 of the video, which is going to be the interviewing process. That'll come out in its own separate video. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the video. Okay, so this is going to be part 1 of a 3-part series. So part 1 is going to be my announcement that I am leaving the barn that I'm currently at, as well as a cleaning vlog, which I will film on a separate day because I'm just going to kind of film these parts in the weeks upcoming to the day that I move Gideon. So we'll kind of organize and clean things. So we're going to, in this video, organize and clean my tack trunk as well as the stuff that's in my car. I am going to have to move some things around and kind of readjust what I keep where at this new barn. We're going to clean my grooming kit, Gideon's boots. We're going to do saddle pads, coolers, and tack if I have time. I already have cleaned my boots most recently with my new boot bag. If you want to check out my TikTok, I will link it here. That is where I did the boot cleaning video. Part 2 is going to be barn interviews in the process of finding a new barn. So like how to decide what you're looking for, where to start, looking at costs and amenities that you're looking to have at the barns you go to, and creating questionnaires to take with you. Because if you are a nervous wreck like I am, going to new places when you're, basically haven't told anyone you anticipate leaving, and now you're interviewing at these other barns that may or may not know the barn you're currently at and have opinions about those places, it's overwhelming and just crazy. And so I have kind of developed questionnaires that will help you stay on track with asking the questions you want to ask. Now, whether or not you're gutsy enough to ask all those questions, that's where I ran into trouble, but having them written down can definitely help you find all the answers to the questions you have about where you would like your horse to be, and lets you know what you can and can't do, what you can and cannot expect from different places, and that sort of thing. Scheduling tours, all that sort of things, phone consultations, like all of that. We'll discuss that in part 2, which will be its own video. And then part 3, which will also be its own video, so this will be a 3-part series, is going to be the moving vlog. So packing up, loading and unloading Gideon, bringing him to his new home, letting him get settled in, and just kind of sharing an overview of the new property, where we're going to be staying. I am happy to announce I am going where Alicia currently has her horse, though she is having some health problems, not my friend, but her horse is having some health issues, so we're not really sure what the outcome of that is going to be, but I am glad to be back at this barn. I know the family that owns the barn for a long time, about 10 years now. I was there before their main barn was even built. I was there when the Amish put it up, when the wind knocked it down and the Amish put it up again, and it was like, is just fun. So I'm excited to be going back, and I kind of am just really getting excited about it now that it's actually happening and the stressful parts are mostly over except for moving day. So I'm really excited to go ahead and do that. So the first thing I want to do in this section is kind of discuss why I'm leaving, and then we'll get into the cleaning and organizing video. Okay, so I think a good place to start is why I'm leaving the barn that I'm at. And I just want to preface this by saying everybody does not have the same shared experience. There are plenty of people that have been where I'm at for a very long time, and the horses are happy and the people are happy, and that's what works for them. And that's totally fine, but not everybody shares the same experience in anything in life, really. So so the barn owner is also the trainer. I love her as a trainer, and I love the way lessons are, and I love how she is in lessons, and I feel like we click really good there, and that's why I've been there for almost 7 years now. I think maybe closer to 6 or 7, something like that. And when it was just me, all I had to care about was me. I came on my lesson day, found out what horse I was riding, got ready, rode, and left. And I didn't have any other considerations to care about or have opinions about because it wasn't my horse, and I just was there to take a lesson. And that was fine. Now that I have a horse, I have opinions about how I want my horse cared for, and that doesn't necessarily match up with wherever you're at some of the time. And I didn't really even consider looking at other barns when I got my first horse, and maybe that was the mistake on my part because I should have at that time evaluated what my priorities were and seen if that fits the barn or if I needed to find somewhere else to go. So ultimately around October is when I started looking for a new barn. It was right around the same time that my friend Alicia left, and Mia, the horse that I did most of my lessons on, her owner moved as well, and it just kind of showed me like you don't have to stay where you're at. And I've mentioned this in videos before. So I started looking at other barns that maybe fit the priorities of what I wanted for my horse's care a little bit better. One of the things was that I couldn't jump my own horse. Obviously, I get how some barns may not want you jumping 3 foot on your own on a Friday night when no one else is there. I can see that from a safety perspective. You can argue insurance. There's been a lot of debate on TikTok about whether the insurance thing is a valid clause versus it just forces people to have more lessons if they want to jump and promotes the lessening program. I can tell you that's definitely part of the case because all of the barns in my area are considered training barns, not boarding barns. So the only way you're allowed to jump is in lessons because that's how they make their money. And that's fine. It's a business. Everybody's going to run their business the way they want to. It's just not what I want. So I want to jump my own horse. I'm not looking to jump 3 foot. How am I supposed to practice activities without actually being able to jump? And you can argue ground poles. Absolutely. I do ground pole work all the time. Trot poles, canter courses, what you name it, I do it all the time. It's not the same as jumps. You're not working with filler. You're not working with, the same types of distances. Distances for poles are different than distances for jumps because you have takeoff to account for. And I'm just not really gaining any confidence in jumping because I'm not practicing it on my own. So that's like a big priority for me, was being able to jump on my own using equipment that is at the property. So that eliminated a lot of options for me. I did have 3 final candidate options that did allow jumping on their own property without having to be in a lesson. So that was super important. A lot of the training barns also, in addition to not being able to jump unless you were in a lesson, required a certain amount of lessons or activities on top of the cost of board. So board may only be $550, $600, which is a really good deal until you have to do 4 minimum activities at $55 a piece. Well, now you're at $820 for things that you're paying for that you don't necessarily want. Like, I don't necessarily want a lesson every week. I don't want to have to pay for a training ride if I don't feel he needs it. Now, this varies from horse to horse, right? It's very different. Gideon sometimes needs the training rides, and I did pull him out of training this last month, but I'm honestly really saving no money and only getting half the amount of activities. So from a financial perspective, it just wasn't making sense for me. Over time, I have just found that Gideon is unhappy. He is just unhappy. He came from a farm in West Virginia where he lived outside in a big herd on like 45 acres of land. And that's cool. I'm not going to be able to provide that for him here in Wisconsin. It's just not there isn't an equivalent, but he's starting to show signs of ulcers. He has been unhappy in turnout. And now that it's winter, I was hoping he would get some group turnout. That hasn't ended up being a thing. I'm looking for something different. I'm just looking for something different. All of these things combined, I've just come to the realization people are going to run their businesses the way they want to run their businesses, and that's fine. If I owned my own barn, I would run it the way I want it run, and I would charge what I want to charge. But no place is going to be a perfect match for what you want, but you have to have some sort of idea of what you're looking for and find the best candidate. I have found better candidates, therefore I am moving. I'm really excited. The barn we're going to, Gideon will have a stall. He's in, I think, one of the smaller stalls at the barn we're at anyways, which is going to be the same size as the new one. So he's already fine there. Has slow feed hay nets in the stall with small holes so the hay actually will last them all night long. Group turnout, and he'll go out with 3 other goofy geldings, which I'm super excited about. He'll have hay access outside the entire time he's outside. They feed big bales in slow feed hay nets outside. He'll have automatic waters outside. He's going to have a run attached to his stall, so in the spring, summer, and fall, it can stay open on nice days, and he can, walk outside, be inside, wherever he wants to go. And I'm just really excited to get to jump my horse whenever I want again. That was like a big thing for me. It's kind of silly and trivial, but that's what I'm really looking forward to most. So that's why I'm leaving. Like I said, there's so many people and horses that are happy and healthy where we're at, and it works for them, and I'm glad, and I'm gonna miss everybody. It's just not working for us. Just because it doesn't work out, it's not, the end of the world. Everybody's got to find what's gonna work for them. So now that we've discussed why I'm leaving and have kind of normalized talking about the fact that it's okay that places aren't gonna work for everybody, let's go ahead and focus on the actual move itself. Let's go ahead, get the tack trunk organized. Let's clean some stuff. Let's get ready to go. I'm so pumped about this move, and I'm really excited to take you guys along with me. So let's get going. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is clean up my tack trunk. It's not that bad, but there's like a lot of stuff I don't need in here that I'm gonna take home and kind of get ready, for moving. Okay, so I have cleaned my tack trunk. Dana's interrupting me. She doesn't realize she's interrupting me. Okay, take 2. So I have emptied it and cleaned it the best I can. I don't have a hose to wash it with right now, and I don't have my Dyson, so this is what we're working with. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. I took out my clipping kit because I'm going to take that home. Actually, I'm going to keep it in my trunk of my car, I think. And then, so I've got my lunge line, cross ties, rags, bit warmer, and bungees. Grooming kit, which I'm going to clean in a little bit in a different segment. And then a cooler, surcingle, helmet, and treats, and riding crop. So that is going to be it for tonight.
Then I was like a frantic anxiety mess all morning, trying to find someone to drive my horse, which luckily someone from the barn that I'm moving to is actually willing to come and get me. So that was super nice of her. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for my friend for setting that up and making sure that I had a way to get there because she's going to be gone for a wedding that weekend, so she can't come get me. And then I have a trainer at a different barn who I'm friends with. She gave me the name of her transporter that she uses all the time. And so I have him set as like my plan B. Like he's agreed to be my plan B if for some ungodly reason this happens again. So hopefully we will get Gideon to the new place on Saturday with no problems, because I swear to God, I've only had to transport this horse once and that fell through the day of, and now I have to transport him again and that's fallen through with a few days notice, and I just like apparently need to get my own trailer. Have the worst luck. Just so tired of all of it. Just can't wait to get through this weekend and then just be done with it. So I am absolutely exhausted. It's been like 2 hours now that I did all the cleaning of my saddle and boots and bridle, and I washed all my saddle pads and his fetlock boots, what's left of them, and I am just ready for bed. Today was just awful and reminded me of why I'm leaving. So he's all set with his vaccinations and the trailer is coming tomorrow, and I am just ready to be done. So we will see you guys tomorrow for moving day.